Grumble, grumble. Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am back from my extended video game board game break. Been playing a lot of Diablo 4 and a lot of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so haven't been putting as much time into board game stuff for the channel, but I wanted to come back and make a special appearance because today the Tanares Adventures Ultimate Edition campaign launched, and I wanted to go through this campaign page with you live and tell you what I think and maybe my impressions on Tanares Adventures in general. We had the original Arena of the Contest, Tanares Adventures, then the Tanares RPG, and finally now the Ultimate Edition, where they've gone back and listened to, I think, to a lot of feedback, including feedback that I've given here, probably coincidentally, but still, about how the game kind of flows in terms of jumping from book to book. And, you know, they're offering, I think, a storage solution here and some new miniatures, including this giant dragon, and so, and a reprint as well, so that people can get their hands on this truly incredible game. Like, if you've been paying attention to my channel, I must have posted 30 different videos related to Tanares Adventures. I even have videos like in the can that I just haven't posted yet because I'm super lazy. But I've been flooding YouTube with content related to this game because I really, really like it. And I do think it's special. I think it's the kind of preeminent dungeon crawler out there, really, right alongside stuff like Chronicles of Drunagor. These games are really pushing the boundaries of what these dungeon crawlers can be, you know, basically. And so I couldn't be happier that there's more crap for me to acquire here. So yeah, quick overview. Looks like this thing just launched, maybe like an hour ago, I think. And they've already got 277,000. They're going to get my money for sure. They've got almost 2,000 backers already. They're running for 22 days. Let's see. Okay, so first of all, there's a day one reward. If you back at least $89 during the day one, you get this awesome Silver Dragon miniature for free. You have to back $89 or higher. Their dragon miniatures are fucking dope as shit. And this one looks no different. And, you know, I find that their renders are pretty close to their end products. I despise renders in general on Kickstarters, but I accept them as like a necessary evil. But Dragori, this dragon is going to look, you know, pretty similar to this. That's what I found with all the other dragons and the painted miniatures. I bought everything. I own every single thing that's ever been made for Tanares Adventures, Arena of the Contest, or the RPG, and I own it all painted. So I'm like $800 into this game. And so rest assured, if I was not happy with that investment, I would not be here making this video. I'd be here making a video shitting all over this game. But I'm super pumped. More dragons, fucking awesome. So make sure you back it on day one if you can, if you want to get this bad boy for free. In terms of, maybe let's take a look at the pledge levels first. You've got the Gates of the Empire. This is basically your placeholder pledge so that you can pledge during the PM. You've got the returning backers, like the upgrade kit, which includes the new adventure books, some new cards, alternate skills, revised rule book, a new campaign system. We'll get into that more because I haven't gone through this page yet. I'm not even sure what that is. And more stuff. And then you've got the $89 returning backer bundle, which comes with the new storage solution that they are providing. which is desperately needed for this game. I have a custom storage solution, and so I don't know if I'll leverage this new one, but I'm going to buy it just to see if it really is functional. Because this is an immense pile of shit. Like, it's absolutely insane. I have a game topper that is... at the time, it was the biggest one they made. I think it's 6 feet by 4 feet. And this stuff sprawls across all of it. It's been sitting on that table for like 3 months. I haven't played any other board game but Tanares Adventures since I got Tanares Adventures. And so a storage solution is something I'm definitely interested in. It's also going to come with new boards for the city and world phase, which is really cool. It's one of the few nitpicks that I had with the materials in Tanares Adventure, was that originally those two boards were just printed on a foldable, piece of poster paper, basically. And it works, but it's not luxe. And once I'm $800 into a game, I'm looking for luxe everything, right? I don't want it half-assed. I don't want some of this stuff to be on boards and some of it to be on paper. I want it all on the most premium components available, and so this is awesome, an awesome addition. And they're also adding 2 more actual playboards based off the most commonly used skins, and then foreteller as well. This is very cool too. I don't know how the foreteller is actually going to work, because there's quite a bit of decision making in this game, and I can't recall, it's been so long since I used foreteller for Madara, if it accounts for that or not. Assuming it does, that there is a significant value to this, because there's a shit ton of journal entries and text that you're reading through, and so I think this is very cool, and I'll be adding that on as well for sure. Then they've got a new standee version of Tanares Adventures, which is really cool for people who don't want all of the piles and piles of miniatures. As much as I love this game and I love the miniatures and everything, standee versions are starting to make more sense to me. I would really like to see somebody take it to the next level on the scale of something like Tanares and come out with some legit acrylic double-sided colored standees, even big ones for boss monsters and whatnot. There are some third-party solutions for stuff like that you can find on the interwebs, and there have been a couple games that have come out that leverage those kind of nicer acrylic standees, but nothing quite on the scale of like hundreds of miniatures and of varying sizes and such, like Tanares Adventures includes. And so I think it's cool that they're including a standee version. I think in the future, including just companies including a more premium standee solution would be a really cool idea, because this stuff does take up an insane amount of space. Then you've got your basic Tanares Adventures pledge. You get the core box and Tanares Adventures, and then a bunch of like ultimate all-in, painted, cosmetic all-in, blah, blah, blah. Lots of options. I like that they give you a ton of different pledge options. And the pricing on some of this is very, very reasonable and looks to be consistent with what it was in the previous campaigns. Let's even take a look at... let's just look at the Tanares RPG Kickstarter, because they had pledges of a similar nature, and I'm curious to see what they... You can see I put a shitload of money into this too. I got everything, like every single thing basically. So let's see, Super Kit RPGs plus minis. No, that's nowhere near what we're talking. We're talking about more like the board game bundle. No, all in miniatures, unpainted. Let's see. Yeah, so your price on the all in, and I don't know that this is 1-to-1 analogous to the Tanares RPG offering, but you can see it's pretty close. It's like $50 bumped up in price. They're not gouging people for being late, and with the amount of content that you get in this game and the overall quality of it, this is totally reasonable. So anyways, moving on, we got a picture of all the stuff. Yep, blah, blah, blah. If you're here and you're watching this, you probably have a pretty good idea what Tanares Adventures is. It's, tactical dungeon crawler, basically, where you're controlling a party of heroes and you're moving between that phase to a phase where you're kind of developing your city and leveling yourself up and getting new companions and whatnot, and then you're ping-ponging back and forth between those as you play through a multi-session campaign. So I play it entirely solo with 4 full characters. They do include the ability to have kind of like simplified characters, so that if you don't want all that kind of upkeep, you can go that route. I like the character control, and the combat is one of the highlights of the game for me, so I'm happy to control all 4. Yeah. Embark on an epic dungeon crawling adventure. Immerse yourself in our captivating, gamified stories featuring stunning miniatures and artwork. Yeah, there's a shitload of content in this game. It's insane. I will never see it all. I'll die before I see it all. If I sat there and that's all I did was play Tanares for the next year, I still probably wouldn't see it all. One of the best combat systems. This is 100% true. I love the combat system in this game. I am over Warhammer Quest style fucking basic movement and base attack kind of dungeon crawlers. They have their place, but shit like Tanares Adventures and Chronicles of Drunagor has just blown the combat and the moment-to-moment activation of your character through the roof, where you're always making really interesting decisions, and you really feel like you're playing like a CRPG or an MMO, where you're unleashing these awesome combos where you're setting people up, and it's very strategic. Your positioning is incredibly important, and you're not doing that thing where you just move 4 squares and then you make a basic attack. You have a deck of cards, and each one is a unique ability that's unique to that particular role and maybe to that character, and they're radically different from each other, and so it's a really, really cool combat system, and I love it. Yeah, all this stuff is true. There's just an insane amount of content. You're leveling up. You've got that team synergy and combos where you're tricking people, you're tricking the AI into moving a certain way, or you're ganging up on the enemies so that you're getting a bonus to your attack, or they're getting a debuff to their defense, and it's freaking awesome. And as I said, I play it solo, so it is solo friendly, I would say. So, stretch goals. This didn't even occur to me that there might actually be more shit in this game now. This is cracking me up. Good God. Are they really going to give us more miniatures? Let's see. Yeah, so far, funding the adventure, $50,000. This is kind of a funny, thing that they do, companies do on Kickstarter. There's no way in hell that they could do this for only $50,000, but whatever. Just lets them get to the unlocks quicker, and these guys dole out unlocks like you wouldn't believe. You can see, they have a plan for how much stuff they want to give, but even still, you're getting new miniatures, new structures. Oh, that's really cool, actually. New weapons, armor, new endings. Wow, new secret envelopes. That's very cool. New MVPs. You're getting previous MVP NPCs as heroes. Yeah, wow. They've already unlocked a fair bit of stuff for this, and it just launched like 5 minutes ago. So awesome. And I have no doubt that this will be packed with value. Let's look at the improved features. Much easier to learn. Yes, this is something that I absolutely hammered them on. And not only in my videos, I reached out to them. I've been talking with one of the kind of community leader from Dragori, who has his own YouTube channel, actually, which I'm not going to link because I'm lazy. It's Phalanx06, I think is his name on YouTube, so you can check him out. He has an immense amount of Tanares related content as well. And I blasted them on the difficulty of learning how to play the game and the flow of the tutorial in particular, but the game kind of across the board, bouncing between all these different books. And I'm sure many other people did as well, and they've taken that to heart, and they are addressing it. Streamlined adventure and quest progression. Everything is now compiled into a single, easy-to-follow book with a sequential layout. Yes, so in the original game, you had like 5 different books. You had the journal book, the quest book, the city book, the rule book, at least one rule book, and you were moving between all these different books at various times based off where you were in the campaign progression. And it sounds like what they've done now is they just have 4 books. The first book is like quest 1 through 20. Second book is quest 21 through 40 or whatever. And everything is there, and it just flows page to page, which is how it should have always been. I see what they were trying to do with the previous iteration, but it didn't work, and the game is just far too complex and too kind of robust to accommodate their planned play style. And so this is great. Everything's now compiled in a single easy follow book. No need to use multiple books. All errata and refinements are applied. This is great too. They had a huge PDF document that contains all of the errata and like details on exactly how the campaign flows, and even mappings for like where the miniatures are supposed to go and everything. And it sounds like they're integrating all that stuff into the game. And then they say same story but with better writing. I don't have a problem with the writing, to be honest. I thought it was fine. So, but I'm excited to hear that they're improving it. Dramatic improvements on the tutorial. Yes, I actually got a early copy of their new tutorial, and I went through it line by line and edited it and sent it over to them basically with suggested changes. And there were like hundreds, so dozens, maybe not hundreds, but dozens and dozens. So I'm really interested to see this new tutorial and to see how much of my feedback in particular they took, because the original tutorial was an absolute nightmare. Their newer version of it, the one that I edited, was better, but still made many like really obvious basic mistakes in kind of trying to deliver this kind of information. And yeah, so I had suggested a number of changes to this document, and I'll be interested to see if they've implemented them. Next up, they've got new attacks to empower your heroes' original ones. Heroes have the option to use their original attacks with buffs. Yeah, this is really cool. This was really goddamn annoying, because basically your hero's class could level up, but your hero couldn't. And your hand is always made of 2 cards that are hero specific and then 4 cards that are class specific. So your class specific cards were getting better as you played, but your hero ones were static, and so they were just as shitty on day 200 as they were on day 1. You know, they're not scaling with the difficulty. And that was a huge oversight, and it looks like they're changing that, which is very, very cool. Alternate skills for each combat role, introducing new skill options for every combat role, increasing replayability and strategic diversity. Awesome. More skills to choose from is better. So excited to see that. And mystery envelopes. Easier and exciting way to reward the war points and discover the secrets of NPCs. Oh, okay, very cool. Wow. There's a lot going on here in terms of changes. This is very exciting. It always puts me in a kind of a rough spot though, because, you know, I'm like, I just started the true campaign. I went through the whole tutorial, which I think is 3 entire quests, and then there may be 2, and I'm on the second quest of the campaign in the first week. And when I see all this, it makes me immediately think, I kind of don't want to keep playing this. You know, I want to wait until all this comes out, because it sounds way better. So I'm gonna have to think about where I fall on that. But either way, very exciting. Lots of really, really cool changes coming. 4 months guarantee. If your games are not going to your home from the local hubs after 4 months of delivery estimate, you may request a refund and get 100% of the amount paid. Okay, this is awesome. It's very awkwardly worded. These guys are not English native speakers. And so I imagine there are going to be questions that come out of this like right away. It's so funny. I wish these guys would just, honestly, I wish that they would just, and board game companies in general, like, these companies need some real feedback from real people who don't give a shit what they think. People like me and other YouTubers, you know, out there, like, you know, the king of average or somebody, because I would have laughed in their faces at the kind of the holes that they're leaving in this statement, and rewritten it for them, and it would have been much better. But the basic idea is great. If your games are not going to your home from the local hubs, so that means after 4 months of delivery estimate, going to your home from the, so they, like, what delivery estimate? Like, the delivery estimate that they're, yeah, this statement is garbage, and they will have to clean it up, and maybe I'll even get some feedback from the person that I know over there and have him clarify it. But the intent is good. They're trying to address the issue, and there's even an asterisk here. And where the hell is the asterisk? Is it? Is it? You know, 200 pages down, 200 clicks down this page. It's so funny. Like, these guys are just these game companies. They're so obviously, you know, like, game developers and not like project managers or product owners or kind of people with like real strategic and tactical thought processes, where they would just like go through this and just be like, red pen this whole thing and be like, this is garbage, rewrite the whole thing, don't put the asterisk on something that's probably, you know, at the bottom of this gigantic page, blah blah blah. But anyways, the intent is good. They're trying to address the problem of people who don't want to wait for their games for years. They got disappointed, or they changed their life circumstances change, and so if it's taking forever to deliver, you can get your money back. So that's really, really cool. And they say 100% of the amount paid. Kickstarter takes a percentage of the amount pledged here, so I don't know how that needs clarification. How do you request a refund? You know, great intent, kind of poor execution, which is a little bit of a hallmark for Drury. Like I said, the tutorial was the same way. Fantastic intent. I see what they were trying to do. The execution of it was laughable. But, you know, give them credit for the intent. Here they just go through all the pledges. I'm not going through all this shit. I've already bought all this, so you get a crap ton of stuff. The standee version is interesting. Yeah, 169 standees. I'm assuming that these are just cardboard standees, although they don't specifically call it out. This is a really good option. I have friends who would possibly consider backing this game at the standee level who just don't want all the plastic, you know. So very cool and very price conscious too. You know, it brings the price down quite a bit. The Super Box Full, yeah, $4.89. Add 25 to include the 4 tellers. So it comes with the new storage solution, Tanares Adventures, the Legendary Box, the Penumbral Box. All these boxes, two sort of include content from Ultimate Tanares Adventures, Legendary Box, Full Penumbral Pack, 265 miniatures. And they're pretty good miniatures. I really like these miniatures. They're very expressive. They're not like Games Workshop, you know, quality sculpts, but they're also much more durable than Games Workshop sculpts. You know, I have a bunch of their dungeon crawlers, and I have to be really, really careful with them, or they'll break. They require like especially special storage solutions like magnetization or foam inserts. These are great, totally bitchin' miniatures that you can throw into a box, you know, and not have to worry about them breaking in. So I think they're as good as you would ever need, basically. And that's a shit ton of miniatures. So getting a ton of stuff there. The all-in comes with all that, plus the Dragon Collection, the Madness bot. They're like, seriously, the amount of content in this game, if you go all in, is just like staggering. It's so messed up. It even includes the audio narration. Okay, that's very cool. For $6.49, yeah, wow, that's quite a deal. Like, and these big miniatures are very cool. I have some of them like out on display, like the Gold Dragon and whatever the hell this guy is. I forget. And then you've got the cosmetic all in, where you get the painted version of all that same stuff, basically. And again, the paint jobs are very good. You know, they're not. Some of them are not quite as good as they look here. This one in particular, I recall being very, very dark. He really doesn't actually look anything like that, in terms of the coloration and whatnot. But they're good pre-painted miniatures, like really good. They're the best pre-painted miniatures I've ever seen. And the price that you're paying for them is just really pretty reasonable, because you get a lot of pre-painted miniatures here. You know, there's what, like 6, 9, 12, there's like 20 pre-painted miniatures, and they're big, and they're so good, in fact, that, to be honest, I wish that they would offer more. I wish that they would paint everything. Every single thing for this game, I would probably seriously consider paying to just get the pre-painted version, assuming that the price kind of scaled, you know, with the increase. The quality of the pre-painted miniatures is, to my mind, not to be disputed. So if you're considering getting the game, you're considering getting the pre-painted, but you know that this is kind of not a common practice in the industry. Nobody is doing this, you know, fully painted. You've got people doing, you know, shading and whatnot, but the full painted miniatures for the bosses are incredible and really make the game kind of stand out. So, you know, you're talking about adding what, like maybe under $200 to get the pre-painted, and is there even stuff that's included? It looks like the same kind of amount of stuff is included, but to me this is a great deal because the miniatures are cool and they're painted, and that's a really good that's a very accurate depiction of what the painted version looks like, and this is not too bad either. Yeah. Okay, so the upgrade kit, you're getting a new rulebook, the 4 adventure books, which, again, nullify the need to jump between books because it's all just in one place where it always should have been. Oh, and it contains all the Arena of the Contest quests remade as Tanares Adventure quests. That's really cool. People were complaining about that too. Because there's a really weird dichotomy between Tanares Adventures and Arena of the Contest. They really didn't handle it very well. I think if they could go back, they would probably consider doing it differently. But Arena of the Contest is a completely separate game. It's not actually... Tanares Adventures is not actually an expansion for Arena of the Contest. Arena of the Contest is the PvP game with a campaign kind of bolted onto it, which was supposedly very good and was good. I've played it on Tabletop Simulator. I really enjoyed it. That's why I backed the game. Tanares Adventures is a whole different game. It doesn't... There's very little crossover in terms of components. There's no crossover in terms of rules, really. Like, all the cards are different, everything. It's all different. And so some people were a little miffed that Arena of the Contest, the quests from that for the campaign, weren't available to play in the Tanares Adventures system. And so I think it's a good idea for them to offer that now. And then you're getting a bunch of cards. Ooh, some new Euro cards, too. I wonder what those are. I don't even know what those are. Very cool. And a bunch of full-size cards giving you the ability to upgrade, I assume, your characters and whatnot. And then you get some envelopes full of secrets and all the stretch goals, obviously. And then you've got the returning backer bundle, the storage boxes, you get an upgraded city board, and then you get the upgrade kit. And you can add $25 to include the foreteller narration. I don't know why they... I mean, if you're going to have this many pledges, you might as well have a pledge that just includes the upgrade, the returning backer bundle, and foreteller, but, whatever. That's a very small nitpick. They're claiming that these empty store boxes will fit all the content from Ultimate Tanares Adventures, the Legendary Box, and the full Penumbral Pack. It does not, and you'll see that they specifically leave out, like, the dragons and some of the really big miniatures. Those are not going to go into this box. So it's really not going to be all-inclusive storage, but it's going to be pretty close. You're getting boards for the city and world maps. Very cool. I did not like the little paper piece of shit. And then 2 new boards on top of that, too, to play on, which is cool. These have limited use. I think they were more useful in PvP, where you're trying to rapidly set up a map so that you can just get going. Whereas because each quest takes place on a different board with different geography and whatnot and wall placement and stuff, you don't tend to use these a whole lot during the actual campaign play, but they are specifically calling out that they'll be skinned to match with areas that you encounter frequently throughout your campaign. And so they're cool from that perspective because they just add a visual flair, instead of always playing on like a blank board. And then you get your books and your cards and blah, blah, blah. They've got a pledge breakdown here. I'll leave it to you to go through this massive table of stuff. But suffice to say that you get a ton of crap in the cosmetic all-in. And they do differentiate between the painted and the kind of standard versions of all that. The new backer comparative pledges. Yeah, you get the main. Like, this is an insane price for the gameplay that you're getting with Tanares Adventures. Even with the standees. Even this is a very, very reasonable price for the amount of stuff that you get with Ultimate Tanares Adventures. So, couldn't suggest more that you back this bad boy. So add-ons. This is what I'm going to be very interested to see. So you got foreteller, you got the legendary box. This comes with a bunch more miniatures and the terrain pieces, which are very nice. The terrain is really nice. It's really thick and chunky and easy to paint. I love it. I'm using it currently. And then you get all the cards that you need. You get the Penumbral Pack add-on. This is the full pack. So this is a replacement for basically like 6 boxes in one, from the RPG campaign. So it comes with another 100 miniatures. So, you know, the price is pretty reasonable given the number of contents. Oh, it comes with the scenario miniatures too. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. These are the 3D terrain elements. And then you're getting all your books and everything else that you need in the storage. You got your dragon collection. The dragons are super cool. You're probably not going to use much of this stuff in the campaign, but it comes with a whole new way to play where it's dragon versus dragon or boss versus boss. And the miniatures are really, really cool. So rest assured you're getting your money's worth. And then you've got the Madness box, which is the unlock box from the previous campaign, I think. Although it just includes the large boss miniatures from that campaign. And again, they're very cool. And this is, you get to see more use during your campaign play because these guys, I assume you actually face while you're playing through Tanares Adventures. And then you got the Gold Dragon. It's a very cool dragon. I think it's totally worth it to get it painted. And then all the, like, there's so much stuff here. It's insane. The storage solution. So let's see. All components organized for quick access. Fits into 2 Calyx compatible boxes. This is a very odd looking image. It almost looks like this. Like, are these truly 2 separate boxes, or are they like, do they like fold in on each other? The fuck? I don't know what's going on there, but I like the way that they're organizing this. Tiles, tokens, and accessories, scenarios, and hero miniatures, books, boards, maps, and extra cards, and big monster miniatures. So they're really trying to get as much of this stuff as they can into 2 boxes so that you can just like pull out the parts that you need. I think this is really cool. You could see their diagrams of how everything is organized. Probably 50-50 on if I would ever actually use this. I have my own custom storage solution, which I actually promised a video about like a year ago. So I need to, earlier this year. So I need to get that out. But if you wanted to use this storage solution and you don't feel like DIYing, you know, toolboxes and stuff like I do, then this is a great opportunity and a great way of going about it. So, and then you got the Silver Dragon, which you can add on, and then there will be the painted Silver Dragon. This bad boy is 180 millimeters high. Let's see, how tall was the... Oh, do you really not? They say gargantuan size, but they don't say how big it is. That's a big-ass miniature. It's an amazing sculpt. Like, holy shit. He's, like, enveloping a city or a building. That's so awesome. You get the city boards. We talked about those. And then you have all these other packs. I cannot possibly go through these. I've done unboxings on all of them on my channel, so feel free to check that out. And then what else do we have here? So just going through how you play this. King of Average called it the best campaign he's ever played. I would concur with that. Are they showing off the... Okay. So they're showing off, it looks like, the new books, which is very cool. Some of this stuff definitely was not in place before, like the pictures of the miniatures and stuff, so I really like that. And then you can look at the reviews. Lots of much bigger YouTubers got featured here. Gotta expect that. And then community mission, even though these guys, probably this is like one of 3 videos he put out about this game, but whatever. We get some community missions to unlock some other stuff, and then where is the... I'm looking for the asterisk from above. Seriously, I don't even know. I don't even know that they kind of got there. But they're talking about fulfillment. 15 days after the Kickstarter ends, we'll send you a link to the pledge manager, confirm your rewards. I'm talking about the... Okay, so they're talking about the shipping estimates. $50 to ship Tanares Ultimate is very reasonable. You know, Simon wanted like $200 to ship Marvel Zombies, which has less shit in it anyway, so they're sticking reasonable in terms of the shipping cost. They talk about their risks and challenges. You know, I think these guys are worthy of the benefit of the doubt. They waited to launch this until the fulfillment for Tanares Adventures was largely complete. Tanares RPG is still on its way, but it's kind of its own thing because all of the miniatures related to Tanares RPG came with Tanares Adventures. So it's just the books that are still floating out there, and so that's a different type of project. And so they've been responsible about waiting, and the value that they deliver, the delivery time frame. You know, we had to wait forever to get Tanares Adventures, but the game is gigantic, so not really surprising there. And they talk about here they are experienced fulfilling several heavy Kickstarter games, all of which are Tanares related. Again, these guys are not out there with multiple campaigns. They don't have multiple IPs that they're juggling and hitting Kickstarter every 3 months. They put a Kickstarter up, they complete the the campaign, then they start working on shipping it, and they don't start the next campaign until they need to. So I don't love this because I have games show up and I don't open them right away, and I'd hate to think that somebody would not kind of compensate me for that. I find it hard to believe that if somebody reached out to Tanares that they would stick to this anyways, but yeah. And then that's basically it. And so if you're interested in this game, you know, it gets the Grumpy Meeple seal of approval, which is nothing to sneeze at because, you know, a lot of my videos are about stuff I don't like. So for me to have put this much time into this system and to be this enthusiastic about it, even after they're doing a reprint and they are having to change some stuff up, you can rest assured that I really like this, at least, and I imagine you might too. So that's all I had for now. This is an insanely long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. I guess let me know in the comments what you think about the Ultimate Edition Tanares Adventure campaign and where you'd like to see the game go from here. And I will talk to you later.